In every generation, humanity faces the same timeless question. Why are we here? Some search for meaning through knowledge. Some through faith. Others through the silent battles happening inside their own minds. But one thing never changes. Every life tells a story. A story shaped by choices, challenges, and the courage to keep moving forward. Welcome to HISTORIQ, where we explore the hidden lessons buried inside history, psychology, and human experience. Music rises. Narrator. Today, we begin a journey through time, ideas, and the mysteries of human life. A journey that might just change the way you see the world. End of chapter. Before we begin, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to HISTORIQ, the channel where stories become lessons and lessons become power. Let's grow, learn, and evolve together. Chapter 1. The Beginning of Human Purpose. Thousands of years ago, before cities, before nations, before the noise of modern life, there were only small groups of humans standing beneath a sky full of stars. They didn't have technology. They didn't have science. But they had questions, the same questions we ask today. What makes a good life? Why do we suffer? What does it mean to be human? Cut to slow visuals of ancient fire, early tribes, cave paintings. In those early days, survival was a struggle. But that struggle gave birth to something powerful. A desire for meaning. Humans weren't just fighting to live. They were fighting to understand. The evolution of the mind. As our ancestors hunted, traveled, built, and explored, something incredible was happening inside their brains. The human mind evolved. Memory, imagination, fear, hope, all grew stronger. And with that came consciousness. Pause for dramatic effect. Consciousness is both a gift and a W, because it gave us the ability to dream, but also the ability to worry, to imagine the future, and of tearful. The first human emotions. When early humans sat around the fire, they felt the first sparks of emotions we know today. Joy. Wonder. Before. Loneliness. They looked at their children and felt love. They lost loved ones and felt grief. They watched storms and felt awe. And deep inside, they began to realize something profound. Life is more than survival. The first search for purpose. Humanity started seeking purpose long before religion, philosophy, or science existed. We searched for meaning in the stars, in nature, in birth and death, and in each other. Visuals of ancient civilizations rising. This search shaped the world. It shaped cultures. It shaped the future. And today, it still shapes you. If you're enjoying this journey so far, remember, HISTORIQ is where learning never stops. Where every video opens a door to new ideas, new thinking, and new perspectives. Hit that like button, and let's continue our journey. Chapter 2. When Stories Shape Civilization. As human tribes grew into societies, something extraordinary happened. We didn't just build shelters. We built stories. Stories about creation. Stories about gods. Stories about purpose, destiny, and the unseen forces guiding life. These ancient stories weren't entertainment. They were survival tools. They helped humans make sense of lightning, death, seasons, war, and hope. The birth of belief systems. Belief systems began with a simple idea: there's something bigger than us. Every culture, from Egypt to Mesopotamia to the early Americas, created its own version of meaning. Who created the world? Why do we suffer? What happens after death? Why do good things happen and bad things happen? Through myth and faith, humans formed communities. Faith wasn't just spirituality, it was unity. The power of shared stories, visuals of ancient priests writing, tribes listening around fires. For thousands of years, written books didn't exist. So knowledge passed from voice to voice, generation to generation. These stories shaped, remember voice, morality, the traditions, social rules, human identity. If you believed what your community believed, you belonged. If you questioned it, you stood alone. Why humans created gods? Humans feared the unknown. They feared storms, diseases, darkness, death. So they created explanations, symbols of power, mercy, justice, and creation. We created gods, but those gods shaped us too. Belief gave humans strength, discipline, hope, purpose, comfort, and suffering. Pause. And belief also gave humans a reason to keep living, even when life was hard. Psychology of meaning. Every belief system was rooted in psychology. People needed to feel that life wasn't random. That pain had meaning. That destiny had a plan. Cut to visuals of modern cities. Even today, in our modern world of science and technology, we still search for meaning the same way. Faith, science, and the human heart. As time passed, religion grew, but so did logic, reason, and scientific thinking. The world evolved, but the human heart didn't change. We still want to understand who we are and why we're here. Mid-roll promotion, USA style. You're watching HISTORIQ, a channel built for deep thinkers, learners, and those who want to understand the world beyond the surface. If this journey inspires you, support it with a like. And subscribe so you never miss the next chapter. Let's continue. Chapter 3. When Humanity Began to Question Everything. Slow cinematic shots of ancient Greece, China, and India. As civilizations grew stronger, something new appeared. A new kind of mind. A mind that didn't just believe, it questioned. This was the rise of philosophy. A revolution not of weapons, but of thought. The first great thinkers. For thousands of years, kings ruled the land. But thinkers, they ruled the mind. In Greece, people like Socrates asked bold questions. What is good? What is justice? What makes a person truly wise? In China, Confucius taught that harmony begins in the heart. Respect, discipline, family, these were the pillars of society. In India, sages explored the mysteries of the soul, consciousness, and reality itself. These early thinkers didn't have technology. They didn't have books, labs, or machines. But they had courage. The courage to think differently. Ideas that shaped the world, cut to visuals of scrolls, ancient academies, debate forums, and turning to. Philosophers introduced ideas that changed everything. Logic, reason, ethics, purpose, self-reflection. They believed that understanding the world begins with understanding yourself. They taught that life isn't just about living. It's about living wisely. The search for truth. For thinkers like Socrates, truth was not a destination. It was a journey. A journey filled with questions, not answers. He believed a person who never questions their life has never truly lived. This era gave humanity a new form of purpose, the purpose of seeking knowledge. The fight between knowledge and belief. Humanity now stood at a crossroads. On one side, tradition and belief. On the other, reason and inquiry. Both were powerful. Both shaped civilization. And when these forces clashed, societies transformed. Visuals of ancient conflicts, books burning, debates, temples, and academies. Some ideas were embraced. Others were feared. But one thing was clear. Human thought would never be the same again. The philosopher's purpose. These early thinkers believed something profound. Purpose is not found. It is created. Not by gods, not by fate, but by the choices we make and the wisdom we learn. This idea echoes even today. Mid-roll promotion, HISTORIQ. You're watching HISTORIQ, a channel built for deep minds and curious souls. If you believe knowledge has the power to transform lives, hit the like button and subscribe for more powerful stories and ideas. Let's continue the journey. Chapter 4. The Rise of Empires. Slow cinematic shots of Mesopotamia, Egypt, Rome, and China. As human societies grew, so did their ambition. Small villages became cities. Cities became kingdoms. And kingdoms became empires. Power was no longer just survival. It became a symbol of control, vision, and sometimes greed. War and ambition. Empires were forged through war and diplomacy. Soldiers, generals, and rulers carved their names into history. From the pharaohs of Egypt to the mighty Roman legions, to the Great Wall of China built to protect kingdoms. Ambition shaped the world. Yet with power came responsibility, and often corruption. Empires thrived, but many eventually fell when rulers forgot the people they governed. Ideas outlive armies, visuals of libraries, scrolls, early universities, philosophers teaching students. But power isn't only physical. Ideas can conquer even stronger armies. During the rise of empires, knowledge became a weapon. Thinkers, scholars, and writers inspired revolutions of thought. Even as empires fought and crumbled, their ideas endured. Plato, Aristotle, Confucius, and many others. Their words outlived kings. Their philosophy shaped justice, governance, and human rights for centuries to come. The clash of knowledge and control. Rulers often feared the power of ideas. An educated mind could question authority, challenge tradition, and demand justice. Some empires promoted learning. Others suppressed it. Books were written and sometimes burned. This struggle between knowledge and control would define the fate of many civilizations. Lessons from the empires. What can we learn from these great empires? Power alone is temporary. Ideas endure far longer than armies. Knowledge is the greatest tool for change. The rise and fall of empires shows us one truth. Civilizations that value learning and wisdom last far longer than those that rely only on force. Mid-roll promotion, HISTORIQ. If you're enjoying this journey through history, make sure to subscribe to HISTORIQ. We explore the lessons of the past, the stories of great thinkers and empires, and how their ideas still shape our world today. Hit the like button if knowledge inspires you, and join us as we uncover history's most powerful lessons. Chapter 5. The World Opens. Visuals: sailing ships, maps, ocean waves, bustling ports. Doesn't go away. By the 15th century, the world was ready to expand. Curiosity, ambition, and trade drove explorers across uncharted oceans. From Portugal to Spain, from England to the Netherlands, nations sent their ships into the unknown. The age of exploration was not just about discovery, it was about connecting the world. Discovery and trade. Explorers like Christopher Columbus, Vasco da Gama, and Ferdinand Magellan ventured into the unknown. They sought wealth, spices, and new lands. But what they discovered changed the world forever. Trade routes expanded. Ideas, technology, and culture traveled faster than ever. Maps became more accurate. Knowledge became more powerful. The impact on civilizations: visuals, bustling markets, indigenous villages, European settlements. Exploration brought wealth and knowledge, but also conflict and conquest. Native civilizations faced colonization. New diseases spread. Power shifted from old empires to emerging nations. Yet even through turmoil, connections grew. Trade routes linked continents. Ideas traveled along with goods. Languages, religions, and inventions crossed oceans. The spread of ideas. It wasn't just gold and spices that traveled. Philosophies, art, and science moved with traders and explorers. Printing presses in Europe spread knowledge faster than ever before. Education, ideas, and curiosity began to unite the world in ways no single empire ever had. Exploration showed humanity one truth: the more we connect, the more we grow. The more we share knowledge, the stronger we become. Mid-roll promotion: HISTORIQ. If you're fascinated by how history shaped our modern world, subscribe to HISTORIQ. From empires to explorers, we reveal the stories and lessons history has to teach us. Hit the like button and join our community of knowledge seekers today. Chapter 6: A New Way of Thinking. Visuals: old libraries, telescopes, early scientific instruments, bustling workshops. Then, as the world opened up, curiosity took a new form. The scientific revolution transformed the way humans understood nature. No longer relying solely on tradition or authority, thinkers began to question, observe, and experiment. Key figures and discoveries: visuals: Galileo with a telescope, Newton with an apple, microscopes, and charts. Galileo Galilei looked to the heavens and saw a universe far bigger than imagined. Isaac Newton explained gravity and motion, revealing the hidden laws that govern the world. And countless others experimented, recorded, and discovered, from microscopes revealing tiny organisms to maps charting the stars. Science became a language of evidence, observation, and proof. It challenged old ideas and inspired new ones. It gave humanity the tools to understand, not just imagine. The impact on society: visuals, printing presses, classrooms, bustling cities, early machinery. The scientific revolution didn't stay in laboratories. It changed society. New inventions improved agriculture, navigation, and medicine. Printing presses spread scientific knowledge far and wide. People learned to question, think critically, and innovate. This era created a bridge between imagination and reality. It reminded the world that understanding comes from inquiry and observation, not just tradition. A world transformed. Visuals, maps showing trade, education, and exploration connections. With the scientific revolution, humanity began to see the world in a new light. The rules of nature were no longer mysteries. They could be studied, learned, and applied. Technology advanced, cities grew, nations became stronger. Knowledge had become power, and power had become progress. Mid-roll promotion, HISTORIQ. If these stories of discovery and innovation fascinate you, make sure to subscribe to HISTORIQ. We bring history to life, connecting past achievements to today's world. Join our community of curious minds and never stop exploring history. Chapter 7: The Age of Machines. Visuals: early factories, steam engines, textile mills, bustling streets of industrial cities. The world was changing, slowly at first, then all at once. The Industrial Revolution introduced machines, factories, and new ways of producing goods. It transformed agriculture, manufacturing, and even daily life. People moved from farms to cities. The rhythm of life was no longer measured by the seasons, but by the factory whistle. Key inventions and inventors. Visuals: James Watt's steam engine, spinning jenny, early trains, assembly lines. James Watt improved the steam engine, unlocking incredible energy. Textile machines, like the spinning jenny, made cloth faster and cheaper than ever. Railroads connected towns, cities, and nations, shrinking the world and boosting trade. Innovation sparked innovation. Every machine built on another, and the world's production power multiplied. The social impact. Visuals: crowded cities, workers, child labor, women in factories, urban streets. The Industrial Revolution was not without challenges. Cities grew rapidly, often too fast for safe housing or clean water. Workers endured long hours in difficult conditions. Child labor and poverty were common. The short model ones got here. But these hardships also led to new ideas, labor reforms, education, and social movements. People learned that progress wasn't just about machines, it was about humanity. A global change. Visuals: world trade maps, ports, factories, early global industries. The revolution wasn't limited to one country. Industrialization spread across Europe, America, and eventually Asia. Trade, travel, and communication accelerated. The modern global economy began to take shape, connecting nations in ways never imagined before. Mid-roll promotion, HISTORIQ. Curious how these inventions shaped our modern world? Subscribe to HISTORIQ for in-depth history stories that reveal the connections between past and present. From machines to movements, we bring history alive for curious minds like yours. Don't miss out. Chapter 8: The Rise of Global Empires. Visuals: maps showing European empires, colonial ships, bustling ports. HISTORIQ. By the 19th century, powerful nations looked beyond their borders. The Age of Empires had begun. European countries, fueled by industrial strength, competed to claim territories around the world. Africa, Asia, and the Americas became stages for trade, power, and influence. The drivers of colonization. Visuals: trade routes, colonial cities, explorers, armies. Why did empires expand? The reasons were many. Raw materials to feed growing industries, markets for manufactured goods, and strategic control over seas and trade routes. Colonial powers built ports, railroads, and cities. They extracted resources and introduced new technologies, but also reshaped local cultures, often violently. Cultural impacts. Visuals: local markets, architecture, cultural exchanges, and conflicts. Colonization left a lasting mark. Languages, religions, and governments spread. New ideas mingled with traditional ways of life. But not all impacts were positive. Many communities faced oppression, exploitation, and displacement. History shows us that progress often comes with a cost. Resistance and change. Visuals: uprisings, independence movements, leaders, and protests. People resisted. From small revolts to full-scale wars, many fought to protect their lands, cultures, and freedoms. Over time, these struggles led to independence movements, shaping the modern world we know today. History is not just about conquerors, it's also about those who resisted and persevered. Mid-roll promotion, HISTORIQ. Want to uncover more stories of empires, revolutions, and the people behind history? Subscribe to HISTORIQ and join us on this journey across time. Every week we bring history to life, one story at a time, so you can explore, learn, and understand the world like never before. Chapter 9. The World in Turmoil. Visuals. Archival footage of World War I and II. Soldiers marching, maps of Europe and Asia. The 20th century brought unprecedented conflict. World War I, known as the Great War, began in 1914. Nations were drawn into battles far from home, fueled by alliances, nationalism, and industrial power. Millions of lives were lost, and the world would never be the same. World War II and global impact. Visuals. Cities bombed, refugees, soldiers, and iconic wartime imagery. 2 decades later, World War II erupted. It spanned continents and involved over 60 nations. Technological advances changed warfare. Tanks, planes, and even nuclear weapons altered the face of battle. Civilian populations suffered heavily, and millions were displaced. This war reshaped borders, economies, and societies. It also laid the foundation for global organizations like the United Nations, aimed at preventing future conflicts. The Cold War era. Visuals. Berlin Wall, space race, nuclear weapons, protests. After 1945, a new kind of conflict began, the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union emerged as superpowers locked in political, economic, and ideological rivalry. This era saw arms races, space exploration, and proxy wars, all under the shadow of potential global destruction. Yet it also led to remarkable scientific progress and global communication networks. Movements for freedom and rights. Visuals. Civil rights marches, independence celebrations, decolonization movements. Deem. While nations struggled with wars, people also fought for freedom and equality. Colonized countries demanded independence. Civil rights movements challenged injustice. History shows that change is often slow, but persistence and courage can reshape societies. History is full of lessons, victories, and struggles. Subscribe to HISTORIQ to explore the untold stories behind wars, revolutions, and social change. Dive deep with us every week to understand how the past shapes the world we live in today. Chapter 10. The World Today. Visuals. Bustling cities, skyscrapers, technology, global maps. As we entered the 21st century, the world changed faster than ever before. Technology revolutionized how we live, work, and communicate. The internet connected billions. Smartphones put knowledge at our fingertips. Globalization made nations closer, but also brought new challenges: economic crises, environmental concerns, and cultural clashes. Technology and innovation. Visuals. AI, space exploration, renewable energy, robotics. Innovation has reshaped every aspect of life. From artificial intelligence to space exploration, humans push boundaries daily. While these advancements create opportunities, they also raise questions about ethics, privacy, and the future of work. Global challenges and unity. Visuals. Climate protests, international cooperation, UN assemblies. The modern era faces challenges that no single nation can solve alone. Climate change, pandemics, and conflicts require global cooperation. Yet history shows us that collaboration and resilience lead to progress. The world continues to adapt, learning from past mistakes to build a better future. Lessons from history. Visuals. Montage of historical events, victories, and peaceful movements. Every moment in history, whether of war, innovation, or social change, teaches us a lesson. The past shapes our present and guides our future. Understanding it allows us to make wiser choices, avoid repeating mistakes, and cherish the freedoms we enjoy today. Visuals. Montage of previous chapters, maps, iconic figures. History is more than dates and events. It's stories of courage, struggle, and progress. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to subscribe to HISTORIQ for more in-depth stories that bring history to life. Remember, understanding the past empowers us to shape a brighter future. This is HISTORIQ, where history meets insight.